I got time, cuz. Today I got time, cuz. You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz.
Wait.
Nigga, what's up? How gangster are you, cuz? I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me. I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me. I go hard, cuz.
Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing good today. Yes, today I got time, honey, okay? Come on in, come on in. I know it's been a week or so since I've done a live stream, so I was like, oh, it's a lot going on, honey. The damn leopards are eating their face and ass, okay? It's a lot of drama going on. I hope you guys are feeling good today. I'm definitely feeling a lot better. Like I said, on Saturday, it was, oh my God, last week was a rough week for me. But I just been healing and taking care of myself, so I appreciate y'all's patience and everything else. And I was really glad to see that a lot of people really liked my video on the Somali situation here in Minnesota. You know, because I didn't know how people were going to receive it. I didn't know if I was just going to be dealing with a bunch of hate. And I had a few nasty comments, you know, that's to be expected. But for the most part, like, people really enjoyed it. And I believe that I was definitely fair, you know, showing all sides. I know I had a few people saying, oh, why are you saying Somalian? I use the word Somalian and Somali interchangeably. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's just how I talk. Just like I use the word Black Americans and African Americans interchangeably. It is what it is. It's just whatever, you know, whatever comes to my head first. Sorry. I'm dealing with a lot of, you know what I'm saying, head issues. So it's just whatever comes to my head. You know, if you're taking offense and I'm saying African Americans versus Black Americans, okay, whatever. You know, that y'all will take offense to everything on social media. You know what the fuck I meant. So, you know, it is what it is. But it's still a lot going on here. The raids are getting crazy. Today there was a walkout at the Burnsville High School. You know, the students walking out against ICE. So, you know, tensions are still high up here. So it's going to be interesting to see like what happens. But again, don't get it twisted and don't think that I also don't see the big picture. I can walk and chew gum. I also understand that a lot of this is going on because they're not trying to release some damn Epstein files, okay? Bitch, I ain't forgot, okay? But again, like I said, we can hit on many different topics outside of just that. Don't be like, oh, you're so worried about the Somalis. What about the Epstein files? Honey, I ain't forgot. I believe I was one of the few Black YouTubers that was talking about this shit before it really went viral and mainstream. So, yeah, we ain't forgotten nothing over here. But yeah, it's a lot. I heard Washington State is flooding. Yeah, Shanette, because she's in Washington State, she sent me some stuff in the weather room on Discord. So you guys are dealing with a lot of water and floods, so please stay safe out there. We're dealing with snowstorms here in the Midwest. We had a pretty decent snowstorm yesterday. So it's a lot going on right now with the weather. So just, you know, stay safe, bundled up, take your time getting to where you got to go. Last week, my mom's friend lost her 21-year-old son during the first snowstorm that hit Minnesota. So he ended up passing away from a car accident. So it's real. Take y'all's time. If you don't have to be out, don't go out, you know. So everybody be careful. So yeah, so I want to come on here and talk about the whole Candace Owens. Child, she's getting her nigga wake-up call. Okay, she's going through a lot right now. The right wing, you know, the whole MAGA community is really crumbling. And this has been, I'm not surprised that we're where we're at with this because they have been crumbling for a while now. You have Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, she kind of went against Trump with the Epstein file, so he called her Marjorie Taylor Greene, so that was one fraction. Then this whole Charlie Kirk situation, I swear, Charlie Kirk is the gift that just, is the grift, excuse me, I said gift, I mean grift, that just keeps on grifting, okay? Because the way they won't shut the fuck up, especially Candace about Charlie Kirk, it's like, damn, honey, his wife don't talk that much about him, okay? So I think this Charlie Kirk thing has really revitalized her. But let me say this. Candace has been doing her thing for a few years now. I'm never going to hate on that. Candace does numbers. She gets views. And a lot of that was from her Daily Wire audience. She accumulated her audience through the Daily Wire, and them folks followed her to her own platform. mainly white people watch Candace. It ain't a lot, black folks watch it too, but her main audience, her core audience is white people because she loves to call out the black community and go in on the black community, and they get off on that. Just like Officer Talmud. All he does is rant and rave about the black community, but then when other communities do something, it's crickets. It's all types of excuses. So I put him and Candace in the same box. But things have gotten really ugly over there on the MAGA side. And there's like this huge divide. So you have the Epstein people who want the files out. Then you have the Charlie Kirk conspiracy people. And then, who are going against Turning Point USA. And then you have the other folks like Nick Fuentes, Tim Pool, who think that Candace is batshit crazy. So, the whole thing with Turning Point, they've been accused of being behind the death of Charlie Kirk or dropping the ball. And Candace, to me, it might as well just be the Charlie Kirk conspiracy channel at this point. Did she even talk about anything else at this point outside of Charlie Kirk? Because I don't watch her. So the only thing I see that goes viral are all these clips concerning the death of Charlie Kirk. And so Tim Pool is feeling a way about that. Nick Fuentes is feeling a way about that. And then she came out, I think a few weeks ago, said that, her life was being threatened and, she was scared to leave the house or some mess. Somebody was threatening her. I don't know if it was like the French people because she's in a lawsuit with the French president and his wife because she said the wife was a transgender, as a man or something like that. So they're suing her because of that. So she says she's being threatened. And, of course, I don't think anybody should be threatened for, their content or what they put out there. But I also believe that a lot of these people are just attention seekers, just whatever they can do to drum up attention and views and everything else. Now, while Candace Owens has been growing because of the Charlie Kirk conspiracy, she's the leading voice in Charlie Kirk, right? Tim Pool has been falling off. He's not getting the views that he was once getting. These are people with millions of followers, and they're getting average views, if that. And the thing is, like they say, in the words of Biggie, more money, more problems. So Tim Pool and them, they've made millions off of YouTube and, just whatever platform, sponsorships and all that stuff. They're the creme de la creme. And so with that, when he got his money, he bought a huge compound in, Maryland, some state. And so, he lives on this huge compound, lots of guns and dogs and, all his peoples are there. And so he said recently that somebody did a drive-by shooting on the compound. I said, well, damn, what in the Compton is going on here? What do you mean they did a drive-by on your compound? It's always something. A few years ago he was swatted, so now he's saying that somebody came and they did a drive-by. A lot of folks didn't believe him because he didn't provide any receipts. And I also thought it was very suspicious because Candace was just saying that her life was being threatened. And now it's like Tim Pool is trying to one-up her like, I too am being threatened. Somebody did a drive-by on my compound. So folks weren't really buying it. People were dragging him. People were saying he was making it up. Some man even called the police station to verify, and they didn't have any reports. Another person called, and they said that they did have reports. I don't know. We'll watch those videos. So this is where it kind of stems from, is this whole thing with him he's not making the money he was once making, and he's dealing with all these security issues because supposedly somebody wants him hurt, and he's dealing with a lot of security problems and people coming to his compound and all this shit. I said, okay, all right. So he feels like Candace has caused a lot of this rhetoric against him and other, MAGA people, that she's caused a lot of the drama with this whole divisiveness with the Charlie Kirk. Because if you're not siding with Candace and her conspiracies, you're basically an op, is what, Tim Pool is feeling. And because Candace has this huge audience now, they're now coming at Tim Pool and other people who are not going with Candace's narrative of what happened to Charlie Kirk. So they're calling him Beanie Shapiro. I love the little nicknames that y'all got. Damn. The right is shady, honey, okay? So they've been calling him Beanie Shapiro and all types of stuff going in on him. They even released a picture of him without the beanie on. I guess he's bald. It's just all types of mess that's been going on with Tim Pool. So yesterday, Tim Pool lost it. When I tell you, he went the hell off. I've never seen Beanie Shapiro this mad, okay? He went off on Candace Owens on it was like a 30, 40-minute rant. We're not going to watch the full thing, but we do have clips here that we will watch. Excuse me. Let me pull them up here. Oh, yeah, he was big mad. Big mad. So we're gonna watch Beanie Shapiro and what he has to say about the whole Candace Owens debacle and how he feels like, Candace has created this atmosphere of unsafety for him and his Timcast family. So let me go ahead and play this here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and watch this.
What Robinson's political affiliation is, got to transfer your boyfriend. We'll see what the evidence shows.
So you believe the FBI story?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Oh, what the FBI says, Tara Robinson did all that. So
do you believe that? I think that the evidence we have seen thus far, Occam's razor, suggests Robinson is the likely culprit. We will see what happens in the trial when evidence is presented, but there's literally no other story. Just a bunch of fucking retards on the internet saying stupid shit. And what that does is the organization that helped get Donald Trump elected, which needs to persist. You don't got to be a fan of it, but it certainly will help get individual congressional candidates elected and stop Democrats from launching new committees and putting more people in prison like Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro. Instead, it's being gutted by fucking psychopaths telling people to pull their donations. So when this organization burns to the ground or whatever the fuck happens to it, maybe they're fine. The organization that's rallying young people, causing a shift in the political leanings of a generation for the first time in history, is now in dire straits. Their leader and founder murdered, and prominent pieces of human trash are trying to destroy it. It's fucking evil. So you know what? When someone pulls in front of my property and fires on it several times, I'm sitting here looking at these vile pieces of shit and thinking to myself, for what purpose will I stick my neck out if this is what happens after Charlie Kirk is killed? Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you fucking cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was
I'm fucking done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy. And she doesn't give a shit about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking...
Okay. Objection. Again, I'm no Candace Owens fan. Let me come on the screen real quick. You're trying to dox her. You, Beanie Shapiro, are sending dog whistles so that way your crazy, Beanie crew can show up at Candace's house with her husband and children because he just said she got one fat security guard and no real security. Why would you say that? Why would you? What is your homeboy doing going to Candace's house and snooping around her property? But then in the same breath, you're crying about strangers coming to your compound. Make it make sense. You don't want people coming to your compound, so why would you talk about her home and where she lays her head? See, this is the bullshit that I'm talking about. But see, Candace thought she was the other. And now the other They're doxing you and putting you and your biracial children at risk. This is disgusting what he's doing. It really is. Let's continue. He's over here mad because his bag has stopped.
Property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who trying to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property? And it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy, and it is for the purpose of.
Clock that. How am I supposed to sell this property? See, when folks are dealing with money issues, you're gonna see their true colors. Okay? He's trying to sell that damn compound because he done bit off more than he can chew. He probably can't afford the taxes on that big ass compound. If it's paid off, it's probably not paid off. The money's not money like it once was. And now that people know that they keep doing drive-bys on the compound, nobody's willing to buy it. Because ain't nobody trying to risk getting a bullet for Tim Pool and cohorts. So it sounds like it's some money issues behind the scenes. Let's continue.
Making money, and she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie, she loved Charlie, and she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again, this conservative movement is fractured, it's fried, whatever it is. Okay? Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. They were actually trending in the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history. And thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them. I don't get paid by any of these people. I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA. They didn't invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They invited me back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event. I'm over all of this shit. The last thing that I need to deal with is a bunch of cowards in conservative media refusing to stand up to her. Megyn Kelly, come on. I appreciate the kind words, but come on. Such fucking pathetic bullshit. You know.
Okay, Tim, you also got to take personal responsibility. Let me come back on the screen real quick, okay? Tim, okay, Beanie Shapiro, you also got to take personal responsibility to why you falling off. You want to blame Candace. You want to blame these coward, conservatives. But let's keep it real. You sat down with Bibi Netanyahu. Okay, that's another fracturing that's going on in the conservative movement. You have people who are tired of the AIPAC, lobbying and money going towards these different, people in Congress and stuff like that. And even towards these influencers, who have podcasts who do politics, right? Political podcasts. A lot of them are getting AIPAC money as well. So this has been a big discussion in conservative movements where half the conservatives want to have nothing to do with the Jewish, people. They want to be America first, like Nick Fuentes and others. Then you have people like Officer Tatum and this one, Beanie Shapiro and Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh. They're all with the Jewish folks, right? And so that's another big thing. So he needs to also take personal responsibility. You just can't be mad at Candace because when you met with Bibi Netanyahu, your own audience turned on you. They said, we're not here for this. You're doing too much. Because remember when Tim Pool came out years ago, he wasn't a conservative. He was more, he was left leaning. He was just more like, in the middle. I lean left. I don't really like the conservative stuff. You'll never catch me in a suit. I'm just, in my beanie and my flannel. But then when he got a chance to get alongside Donald Trump, he put on a suit with the beanie, I might add, okay? Because he refused to take that dusty beanie off. So he had that on to go meet the president with the suit. So when he realized he could make more money grifting for the other side, all of a sudden he was conservative. We ain't forgot, okay? That's how a lot of them were. They were initially very left-leaning, very moderate, but y'all know the Democrats don't pay shit, bitch. They just expect votes. They don't really pay nothing. But the other team, they was cutting checks, and that's where he went. And so when he did that meeting, okay, half his audience was not feeling that. Ever since he met with Bibi, his views have gone down. He's not getting the views, the clicks. People troll him all the time on Twitter. And so this is the frustration building up because, again, your views may go down, but them bills don't stop. Okay? It's no different than being laid off at work. Just because you're laid off don't mean that your rent ain't due on the first. Water, electric, all that. So because he's living in this big ass compound, the views are not viewing. Half his audience left because they feel like he's just taking, APOC money and all types of stuff like that. He's seeing the writing on the wall. Okay? He's trying to say that it's this drive-by shooting. Again, I don't know if the shooting really happened or if it didn't happen. But he's seeing the writing on the wall. He's understanding that his following is dropping. The grift is not griftable anymore. Okay? Them grifting days, they're just about over. People aren't playing no more. People are saving their coins. They're not going to just be sending you, $50, $60 a month to be a part of whatever membership you have when your views are not aligning with their views. So he's seeing the writing on the wall. So now he wants to sell the compound. He can't sell it. He let that slip when he was ranting. So now the easiest person to blame is the black woman. And that's what he's doing. He's acting like she's the main fracture of what's going on in MAGA when she's not. She might be a part of it with her whole Charlie conspiracies, but then you got the Epstein, you got the whole Jewish thing that's going on. There's a lot of things that are fracturing the MAGA movement right now. But for him, he's really upset at Candace. But he also needs to take personal responsibility for losing his own audience. You can't blame Candace for that. So let's continue.
And I get people saying, Tim, thank you so much for talking about it. I don't care. I'm not doing a favor for anybody. I'm not doing this to benefit anybody. Nobody's paying me. There's no fucking Russia. There's no fucking Israel. There's just me sticking my neck out and then risking dying for what? A bunch of cowards that don't want to stand up to protect themselves? People like fucking Candace Owens?
I couldn't believe that she put you in the thumbnail.
What a fucking cunt.
Of her piece today.
I'm done.
The idea that she'd imply that you had some benefit or that you benefit somehow. She
benefited. I think she's a Fed, and I think she killed Charlie. No one benefited more than her. And now she is, when you look at what's stopping us from winning in 2026 right now, what the biggest threat and the biggest fear we have is, it is the disarray on the right. It is the fracturing of the coalition of all the different voices that came together and stopped the neoliberal bullshit liberal economic order machine that was coming out and telling everybody to chop their dicks off and that you had to get fucking injected or get locked in your house. And here we have a coalition resisting and rejecting that. Charlie Kirk dies, and he's not perfect. He loved Israel. Some people don't like that, but he certainly did organize a movement that brought people together, that helped get Trump elected, helped Republicans win, and resisted what the Democratic Party had been doing and these psychopath institutions. I don't want to go back to COVID. Does everybody remember what that was like? When you were locked in your home, you had to wear 2 masks, and you couldn't go anywhere unless they stuck you in the arm. And the only resistance we had was these feckless loser Republicans who've got nothing done over the past year. And now Charlie Kirk was murdered. And we say, holy crap, what do we do? How do we keep things together? And Candace, with a smile on her face, and Ian Carroll and all the rest of them say, Turning Point did it to themselves. They destroyed themselves. Pull your donations because they work for Israel. Even Nick Fuentes calling it out, saying this is psychotic. So when we lose in the midterms and the Democrats bring back their panels and their subpoenas and they start arresting people like they had already done in the past 4 years, and then we get whatever the equivalent of lockdowns is going to be, and you get President Gavin Newsom, you can mark it all back to this moment when you had evil stand, scream, and cowards refuse to do anything.
With all due respect, always every single president loses in midterms.
And guess what?
Every single one.
The prediction markets showed that it was near 50-50 based on the political swing that we had seen. Gen Z, the first generation in 100 years to tick slightly rightward in some areas, not all, but some. And this was a big moment because while they were very similar to millennials, they were slightly more conservative in some areas. And we saw that in the past couple of years, Gen Z was actually skewing away from LGBTQIA issues. How is this happening? It is not only nor solely, but largely Charlie Kirk and his work with Turning Point. And so Turning Point.
All right. It's a wrap. So as you see, he is big mad. He's in his feelings, ranting, raving. everything is Candace's fault. It's because of her. The MAGA movement is fractured, and she's trying to burn the house down and everything else. So Candace has since responded. We're going to go ahead and watch her response, some of her response here to what she had to say. And then also today, let's watch what Nick Fuentes had to say about Candace, because he's been keeping his foot on her as well. He doesn't agree with her conspiracies on Charlie Kirk. So let's watch what Nick Fuentes had to say, because he's threatening to also expose Candace as well. So all these white folks are coming for her on the right-hand side. But these are the same folks that she fought for and disrespected black people over. So have fun, child. Let's see here. Okay. Good old Nick Fuentes.
And I just can't wait for December 15th when Turning Point, they better bring their A game. They got a lot riding on this. And I'll say this much. I'm looking forward to the Turning Point live stream where they respond to everything. I plan on live streaming that. And depending on how they do, if they don't do a good enough job, I think I'm going to have to step up. And I think I'm going to have to expose Candace Owens for what she really is. I'm going to give them, they have the opportunity because they are involved in all this. But I am so frustrated with how people are handling it. They're losing. If Turning Point doesn't do a good enough job on December 15th, I'm going to have to step up. And just like I exposed Tucker Carlson, and just like I exposed J.D. Vance, I'm going to have to step up, and I'm going to have to blow the lid and expose everything about Candace Owens and reveal who she really is, who her husband is, who her donors are. And unlike her, I will be naming names. I will be coming with receipts. I will blow the lid on the whole thing, and I'll give her the Tucker Carlson treatment. But I'll wait and see how the Turning Point USA stream goes. I think they're going to do a good job, but if they don't, then I'll finish it for them. Nobody else will do it. Everybody else is afraid of Candace Owens. I'm not afraid of some ignorant black bitch, okay? Everybody's afraid of a black Karen. I'm not. I'm a groiper, okay? Black bitches are a speciality, okay? So Turning Point, the whole conservative movement, they're all in fear of Candace Owens. Nobody wants to step to her and her insane cult of followers. I'll do it and I'll win.
All right, child. So y'all just heard what Nick Fuentes had to say. So I think this is the Candace. Is this the one? No. Hold on. That's not the video. What's the video of Candace? Okay, this is the one. So we're going to hear what Candace has to say to Tim Pool. So yeah, I mean, they're coming for her. They're coming for her. She thought she was the other. And she's finding out in real time, you're just a black bitch to people like Nick Fuentes. But she thought she was the other. Yes, them tokens are fucking spent, okay? What's up, Larry Reed Live? I see you in the chat. Yeah, them tokens are spent. So this is why you got to watch, who you ally with. So let's listen to what she has to say to Tim Pool.
What you are seeing right there is on a display of testosterone. Men that speak to women like this are not tough guys, okay? What you are seeing is actually a display of estrogen. Everything he is doing there is somebody who is not a man. He is not tough, and he would never dare to speak to a man like that, right? People that find that very easy. Secondly, Tim Pool doesn't even have the intellect to understand that we put him in the thumbnail because he accused me in a full episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, which we showed and contextualized, of being someone who benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination. So he thinks he's being accused. No, you accused me of that in like a I think it was 2-hour episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, in which Milo defended me and explained that I am not to blame for the lame excuses that the feds have given us regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination, and that if we do need to have some spiritual searching in terms of what the Republican Party has become, that the time for that is now, okay? So this little, and I really like, he's a small person for this, a very small person who is also theatrical, Timothy Smollett, who pretends every year like people are trying to kill him. He's a chronic fence sitter, okay? Pretending like he is braving the wilderness for.
She's not lying, because I swear, ever since I ran across Tim Pool's channel, it's always some type of drive-by, swatting, somebody try to poison me. It's always some theatrics. Sir, nobody is thinking about you or that dusty beanie. Just proceed with the show. I swear he has some type of, Munchausen drive-by syndrome. It's always something going on at the compound. That's why you can't sell the bitch now. Objection. Ain't nobody trying to buy that damn compound because there's a drive-by there every other year. She ain't lying. So all he do is complain about somebody trying to shoot up his shit.
For being what? The 110,000th person who's making a video about Candace Owens in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. He thinks he's pioneering that. Are you out of your mind? It's only the safest thing you can do. What's next? Is he going to make a video and call Kanye West anti-Semitic? Like that's what he's pioneering right now. Oh my gosh, so original. Like, is he going to call Donald Trump evil in 2016? This is the storm that he's braving, is jumping on the side of what everyone else is doing. He is a fundamentally weak man for what he did there. He should apologize. He won't. I don't care what happens to his platform. He's now essentially trying out, because he's under financial pressure. He's trying out for a Zionist to pay him, and they will, okay? They will cut him a check, and I hope it happens for you, Tim. I hope it makes you happy. But to do that to someone who has never done anything to you other than disagree with you about the Charlie Kirk narrative, I have not focused my content on you, and any time your name has come up, it has been because you have explicitly been attacking me. You are a coward. You are less than a man, okay? You are behaving, your type right there is like a person who's having financial issues and yet decides to go out and put 100K on a poker game. And when he loses and is a further 100K in the hole, comes back home and beats his wife and kids and thinks he's a tough guy. That's how you're acting right now. I'm not your wife. I'm not your kids. Get your affairs in order and stop blaming me, because I'm actually traversing down the path that hasn't been traveled by standing up and saying that something corrupt happened and Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And I don't care about your midterms, okay? I don't care about your next year midterms and whether or not the Republican Party is united, okay? Because I don't want to stand next to people that would cover up Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I hope that I have made my point perfectly clear.
All right, child. So y'all just heard what Candace said. Let me come back on the screen, hoodie. Whoo-wee! The girls are fighting. Okay, so like I tell you, this damn right-wing tea, honey, it's been piping these last few weeks. I may not talk about all these people all the time, but I don't miss shit, okay? So they've been going back and forth. It's been heated. But, yeah, again, I'm not Team Candace. I'm not Team any of these people. I think they're all fucking weird. But I will say this. There's a lot of jealousy, and I peep it. There's a lot of jealousy. Because, see, what they thought is once she left Dusty Ben Shapiro's platform, his platform, Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire, has gone down, too. They're not getting the views they were once getting. Nobody is watching Dusty Matt Walsh and them dusty flannels. Nobody cares what any of them on the Daily Wire have to say. Literally, when Candace left and the other one, Brett Cooper, she left too, they've fallen off. So they really don't have anybody there at the Daily Wire right now. So they're bleeding subscribers. They're upset. They thought that once this black woman left, that people would just, not fool with her. Ben Shapiro thought his reach was strong enough to where people would not follow Candace. And that's where he was wrong. His audience left along to go follow her. And since she's left the Daily Wire, she's blown up. I think she has like the #1 podcast right now. Again, I'm going to give props for props are due. I don't watch her. I don't listen to her unless she's viral for something. But that doesn't negate that she's making a space in her lane, right? And I believe she surpassed Joe Rogan. I could be wrong, but I believe that's how big her podcast has gotten. But I also have to keep it real. The reason why it's gotten that big was, girl, you might as well put out a fruit basket and pour some libations, honey, for your homeboy Charlie Kirk. Okay? You might as well treat him like one of your ancestors. because his death has, kept you eating very well and kept you in the algorithm, honey. Okay? Make sure you pour him some libations and leave him some fruit, bitch. Treat him like one of your Orishas. Let me stop. Okay, so again, I feel like that is what helped her. Like, she's always gotten views, right? Anytime she's posted, even before Charlie Kirk's death, her videos on YouTube usually get about between 400,000 to 1 million views. So she's always gotten views. So we're not going to take that from her. But I can say that this Charlie Kirk situation definitely amplified her. Okay? It really did. And one thing about black folks, honey, when we find something that works, bitch, objection, we gonna keep it going, okay? That's what these white folks don't realize. They thought Candace was more of them. They thought Candace was white. She was the other. That Candace would talk about Charlie Kirk, just once or twice, like they did. They talked about him for like a week and then they moved on. Candace, hell no, bitch, we won't go. She said she found a good topic that keeps in the algorithm, that keeps that money flowing. We are going to ride some shit into the ground. That's just what we do. And that's okay. If that is her niche, which is being the Charlie Kirk conspiracy theorist, then bless her. Let that be her niche. Why y'all mad? Because her niche is niching. Meanwhile, y'all's grift is no longer grifting. Because that's what it really sounds like to me, is a lot of jealousy, is what I'm getting now in this whole right wing. Because they used to all click up. And she loved being adjacent to white males. Okay? She loved the proximity. She loved being the only one, the only female and black person outside of Officer, Talmud, being in that mix. Because remember, Angela Stanton is also a black Republican, and she was MAGA at one point. I don't know if she still is. But I remember when her and Candace were beefing. Because, again, Candace wanted to be the only one. You would think that, okay, another black woman who's in the movement, we're both MAGA, you would think they would have, she would have tried to support Angela Stanton. She wanted no parts. Candace wanted to be the only one. Because, again, she thought she was the other. But now she's realizing they look at you the same way they look at me and anybody else. You're black, first and foremost. You can try and get with your rich white husband and everything else. He came at her like she was a fucking, if he could have called her the N-word, he would have. Nick Fuentes don't give a damn. He done called her a negress. So he gonna say what he want to say. But if Tim Pool could call her the N-word, he would have. You could tell he was that close. Like, she's just a stupid N-word bitch. That's really what he wanted to say. But he just kept using the word cunt. So I just find it disgusting in the fact that he's trying to dox her. Why do we need to know what type of security she got at her house? It's just one fat white guy that's just sitting in front of her fence. That's not our business. We don't need to know what type of security she got. Says the man who keeps crying every other month about his compound getting shot at. So Candace needs to really understand that, at the end of the day, yes, you're getting views, you're getting notoriety, but you're also getting a lot of hate. You're also building up a lot of hate and jealousy. And she needs to be careful, because jealousy can turn into envy really fast. And I don't trust none of these people. And I just hope they're not plotting to do something to her, because the way he was so angry, yeah, that wasn't normal. That's because his money's being affected and he feels away. So now Erica Kirk is out here talking. Oh yeah, the Hodge twins. I ain't watched them since the old school days of YouTube. They've been on bullshit for a while. Erica Kirk is out here talking. She just did an interview on Fox News, and she's basically calling out Candace. I've only saw a little bit of it. I haven't watched the full thing. So we're gonna watch that and see what she has to say. She's definitely sending dog whistles at Candace because she's tired of Candace talking about her husband and using her husband for views. So we're going to go ahead and watch that video. Let me find this here. I don't know. It's something about Erica Kirk that just creeps me out. I don't know if it's her eyes. It's something about her that's just weird, but whatever. Let's go ahead and pull this up here. Okay.
Come after me. Call me names. I don't care. Call me what you want. Go down that rabbit hole. Whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
Objection. Erica, let me ask you this, sis, okay? You're saying that Candace Owens is making hundreds and thousands of dollars off of pushing conspiracies about your husband, right? And you feel like that's wrong. But did you have the same energy when your husband was making hundreds and thousands of dollars disrespecting black people, trans people, people in the LGBT, anybody who wasn't white and Christian? Can we clock that T real quick? Because it seems like it's wrong for this black woman to make money off of total conspiracies about your husband, regardless if you agree with the conspiracies or not. But it wasn't wrong for your husband to make all this money, you know what I'm saying, degrading and talking down to people of color and from other minority groups and going back and forth with people half his age at colleges. So it's funny that when the money's not money and all of a sudden it's not fair. I say let Candace make her money at this point. I don't give a damn. Because all y'all had no problem making money over the years grifting to a section of the population that were poor, that were disenfranchised, and that were angry and white. That is who y'all's base was. And that was okay as long as you were punching down on black people. As long as you were punching down on people who really have, they really don't, there's really nothing they can do. The most black folks can do to y'all on social media is to go on TikTok and make a video or cuss you out in the comment section. We don't own any institutions. We can't stop you from getting home loans. There's really nothing else we can do. So it's very easy to punch down. Just like with Matt Walsh and other people I've watched going on the Somali community. What was that podcast? PBE? Patrick Bet Davis. Him and the other dude on the show was going in, being very, very, a very racial tone, making fun of the Somalian people's names and everything. But then when people ask you anything about Israel, all y'all fucking weirdos walk on eggshells. All y'all tiptoe around that conversation. But as soon as it's about the Somalis, everybody got an opinion. Interesting. People who ain't even been to Minnesota got an opinion. Matt Walsh done made about 15 videos on the Somali community. But ask him something about that AIPAC money or the division that's going on right now in MAGA with people not wanting to support Israel. He's not going to talk about that though. So miss me with the whole, this black woman is making money off my husband the same way your husband was making money off of black people, ma'am. Okay? The pendulum swings both ways. So let's continue listening to Erica.
I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do. We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
So you want to put these people back in the box where they've been creeping from?
I don't care what box you're in. But just know that your words are very powerful and we are human. My team are not machines and they're not robots. They are human. We have more death threats on our team and our side than I have ever seen. I have kidnapping threats. You name it, we have it. And my poor team is exhausted. And every time they bring this back up, what are we supposed to do? Relive that trauma all over again? They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day. And thank the good Lord that I did not have to see that happen. But my team, they are rocked to the core. So why every single day do they have to be dragged through the mud, analyzed, hyper-analyzed?
Okay, Erica. Child. Whew, it's getting spicy out here. So Candace did respond to her. I haven't watched this video yet. So we're going to watch and see what Candace has to say here.
That's fine. Now, to that point that people are making hundreds and thousands of dollars, I just don't get how there's not someone on this very large PR team, as we're seeing these PR campaigns go out, that doesn't go, hey, maybe we should strike that. They made $40 million like 2 nights ago at Mar-a-Lago. Maybe that feels kind of a little bit like let them eat cake-ish. Oh, and we've made more than, separately from Mar-a-Lago, Turning Point USA, since Charlie was killed, just so you guys know, this is a fact, has made more than $100 million. That is separate from the $40 million they made at Mar-a-Lago the other night. So since Charlie has died, that organization has taken in $140 million. But gosh darn you people that are making hundreds of dollars every day on YouTube talking about Charlie Kirk's assassination and the BS narrative that is being fed and the very obvious psychological operation that is being employed to make you accept the BS that they are trying to sell to us. Gosh darn you. Did you make $1,000 today? Speaking about Charlie Kirk, well, you should be ashamed of yourself, says Turning Point USA, who in large part made that money because of those very people who gave to the organization immediately following Charlie Kirk's assassination. And the thing that is especially absurd about that.
Okay, I gotta stop you there. Objection. You're trying to conflate regular YouTubers with you. And that's what you're not gonna do, Candace. She's talking to you specifically because you are the one who is making the most money off of the Charlie Kirk conspiracies on YouTube. Let's not compare your platform where you get millions of views, millions of dollars on Apple streaming, Spotify, and YouTube. You can't compare yourself to the average YouTuber who maybe gets 1,000 views or makes $1,000 off of a Charlie Kirk conspiracy video. So we're not gonna be disingenuous, okay? You're getting a big bag too, bitch, okay? So we're not gonna do that. Please do not compare yourself to the average YouTuber, TikToker. You are eating very well off of the death of Charlie Kirk. She was talking to you, okay? Don't drag everybody else into your shit, okay? Just had to clock that. Because she's trying to, I'm just a regular person like you are. No, and no. Bitch, you get views. Stand in it, okay? Stand in it. You get views and you get a nice little bag. Not hating, but if we're going to keep it real, we're going to keep it real. Don't act like you are on the same level as like my platform. That'd be like me acting like I'm on the same level as somebody who only has 10,000 followers. It's not the same. So let's not do that. She's trying to switch up the narrative now. No, just admit that you've made a nice little coin, okay? Made a nice coin off of this Charlie Kirk conspiracy nonsense. Let's continue watching.
Is trying to almost like, I want to be clear that Turning Point USA is my family. The Charlie Kirk show is my family. She's just expanding the wings of people that we're not allowed to critique because they're in the family. If you call them fam, you can't critique them, right? Oh, I'm sorry. We actually are showing a clip of Rob McCoy defending a pedophile or trying to launder the reputation of that's fam. That's the CK show fam. Oh, I'm sorry. We are actually pointing to the fact that we know for certain that this person or organization is a sexual deviant. That's fam. That is my, don't you get me upset. I know that this is a now $150 million in the last 3-month organization and we employ tons of people, but you can't critique. You can't critique the fam. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to be very clear here. This is why there are many people who do not believe that women are equipped to lead companies, because what you are watching here is an unbelievably emotional response that is absent of any logic, okay? If you really care about your team, answer the questions, okay? Just demystify the entire event. Come out, sit down, answer the questions so people don't think Turning Point USA looks so suspicious. Don't try to mom the organization and say, well, mother's upset because people are coming after her kids and all of this multi-million-dollar subsidiaries. That's my children, okay? The multi-million-dollar subsidiaries, Turning Point, like Turning Point Action, all that, those are my kids. So you can't critique them. Not a good idea. Okay, it may work in PR world. You guys, I know how it's an obvious PR campaign. It's never been more obvious of a psychological operation. I actually wish they would put me on payroll so I could help them make these things look more organic than having every single person that has been telling us to stop asking questions all make the exact same video within 4 seconds of each other, being like, whoa, Erica Kirk shuts down the No, she didn't even respond to one of the conspiracies. She gave us emotion. She gave us emotion. She said, I'm a mother, I am a wife, and we never asked about whether she was a mother or wife. We want to know if she is a CEO and a chairman. And a CEO and a chairman has to compartmentalize. A CEO and a chairman cannot respond to valid questions and critiques about finances, about shady actions that are being taken by people that require presidential pardons, people that are meaningfully asking why we are not getting a clear answer of what took place on September 10th. A CEO, okay, does not get to respond and say, that's my family. Okay, that's the energy of what I would expect from a mother speaking to a teacher, which I was this mom, like that's my kid. Okay. And I'll shut this down right now.
All right. She said enough. All these folks is crazy as cat shit, okay? But yeah, I don't think Erica, and I haven't watched Erica's full interview, but yeah, it was definitely emotional. And like just, either answer the questions or move the hell around, And again, we all love a good conspiracy. And I think Candace also knows what she's doing. The thing about Candace, I would say this. While I feel like she is, the Charlie Kirk thing definitely helped escalate her, right? She's always gotten views. But I feel like she's also doing this just because it's something to do. Like, she doesn't necessarily need the money. I mean, unless, her husband is struggling right now. But he comes from, like, a line of billionaires or something like that. Her husband's family is extremely wealthy. So it's not like she needs the money, the views for the money. Because she's straight regardless if she makes videos or not. I just think she just enjoys this. I think she genuinely enjoys this. She says Charlie Kirk is her friend and she wants to get to the bottom of it. And I think that is why, to me, it's very interesting for a lot of people. And that's why a lot of people are following her down this conspiracy rabbit hole. Because technically she doesn't have to do any of this. She could just be a housewife. And that's it. Why sit up every day in her office doing live streams about Charlie Kirk? Because her husband is a billionaire. Her husband is extremely rich. So, so part of me feels like there might be something there because she has been sticking to it. And maybe it might be a case where she loves attention. And it might also be a situation where it's like she's sticking it to Ben Shapiro. Because think about it, they thought that once they fired her, she'd be left for dead. Not really, because her husband is rich, but as far as like the podcast space, the influencer space. And so I think her grinding as hard as she's been grinding, pushing all this stuff about Charlie and trying to get to number one, which she achieved, I believe that, yeah, she might just be a bored housewife at this point. She enjoys what she does, but she's also sticking it to a lot of these men in the conservative movement like Ben Shapiro who wrote her off. So I think there's a few ways to look at this. She has 3 children. Yeah, Candace has 3 kids. But she's obviously causing headway. Because for a while Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, wasn't saying anything. And now she's on Fox News doing interviews. But I'm waiting until December 15th. That's going to be my little early Christmas present. I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be tuned in to see what Turning Point USA has to say because they invited Candace to come and meet with them. And Candace has refused. She said it's too last minute. She's not going. Whatever. So they said they're going to move on and, continue with the show and basically bring receipts that they did not have anything to do with Charlie Kirk's murder. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to be watching. She has 4 kids. When did she have another one? I thought she had 3. Oh, I didn't know she had 4 kids. Well, damn, she ain't waste no time popping out all them kids, honey. She said her husband a billionaire. Shit. She said, be fruitful and multiply. Yeah, I didn't know she had 4. I thought she had 3. Okay, well, that's good. But, like I said, I feel like there's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of way to split this whole story. Tim Pool is definitely jealous. He feels a way. The grift is not grifting. He got disinvited to the Turning Point event. He was definitely in his feelings when he got disinvited, okay? Candace is doing numbers, and they definitely feel a way about that. That not only is she doing numbers, but the fact that people are watching her, she's built this strong support system, you know what I'm saying? And people are believing her conspiracies. I think if she was blonde hair, blue-eyed, he wouldn't have did all that. He might have something slick to say, but he wouldn't have flew off the handle like that. And that's why I want Candace to realize she spends so time demonizing her own community and going in on black folks and, always finding an out for everybody else. I hope she's really seeing now how a lot of these people view her. Beanie Shapiro, you thought that was your friend. I remember Candace going on his show and doing interviews on his platform and everything else. But it's funny how he couldn't look back at those fond times. He's literally blaming you for the whole movement falling apart. All because he can't afford to stay in his compound. All because the grift ain't grifting. But see, it's easier to blame this black woman and her conspiracies than to blame yourself because you bought BB on. So that was on you. Same thing with Officer Toddum. He bought BB on there and his audience turned on him. So, again, take personal responsibility for how you allowed your platform to be used. You thought you was going to get a bag and it was going to help you look good, and it didn't. It blew up in his face, so now he's mad. So I don't feel bad for him. But I think, her response was cute. She wasn't as sassy as if it was a black person. She would have been, she'd have been dragging. But, it was cute. She kept it respectful. But I see a lot of jealousy. I think a lot of people in this right-wing space are mad because they thought that once she was fired from the Daily Wire, that was it. And since then, she's not only surpassed the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, Dusty Matt Walsh, she's now surpassed Tim Pool and others, and they feel away. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me see. I think that was all the clips I had about them. Yeah, he was in his feelings. I've never seen Tim Pool that mad. Let me read some of these super chats, y'all. Let's see here. Hold on. Bookmaker 7471 sent $5. Says, this is my first super chat tea. I'm in the hospital. 4 blood transfusions. Just found out I have fibroids in my ovaries. Much love from Savannah, Georgia. Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm happy they were able to catch them and get you the blood transfusions. Those fibroids must have been making you really, really anemic for you to have 4 blood transfusions. That's a lot. But thank God that they caught that and you're okay. So thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying the show. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see here. Eat, Slay, Pray sent $4.99. Says, hey, T, you covered my cousin Romika Blackman's story. Quick update. The woman who unalived her has now been charged with first-degree murder. I remember your name. I never knew that you were Romika's cousin. Wow. Such a small world. There was a girl here in the Twin Cities that I know that went to Romika's funeral. So I was like, it's a small world. Well, I'm so glad that she has been charged, as she should. So I'm going to have to look into that, maybe do an update. So I'm glad that, there'll be some type of justice because it made no sense that they had dropped the charges. So, and I hope that damn Dusty baby daddy gets charged with something too, because I believe that he was the main cause of these 2 women, having that fractured relationship and it ended in murder. So I hope he gets charged with something as well. But thank you for the update, sis. Appreciate you. Let's see here. C. Johnson, sent $4.99, says, hey, Auntie, sending love and wishing you a recovery from health issues. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Rain Goddess sent $5.99, says, hey, I caught a lie, been sipping since the 1800s. Are you going to talk about 50 Cent and his petty ass? I definitely will. I definitely am. Thank you for the super chat. Derek Boston, 1405, sent $5, says, I love your channel. A lot of people are getting their wake-up call. Oh, I agree. I agree. A lot of these influencers, for sure. I saw a video, and I might do a video on it maybe sometime this week when I get some time. But even like Jaclyn Hill is out here crying tattoo tears, talking about she's not getting the views that she once was getting, like on TikTok and YouTube, and her audience is not really supporting her anymore. Folks are tired. Nobody wants to watch y'all bitches unbox fucking $2,000 bags, eat at Erewhon, you know, do $1,000 grocery hauls, when you got people who are laid off, who don't know how they're going to pay their rent next month. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are done. That era of the influencer, that whole flex culture from 2016, 2017, we don't care. And I'm glad that as an influencer myself, I never engaged in that type of fuckery. I never found it amusing. I didn't find it cute. Instead of you just being grateful for your blessings and the fact that you have a platform that you were able to make money off of because people liked you for you and supported you, why then turn around and throw that in people's faces? That's weird to me. So I think that's the issue right now. A lot of these influencers and grifters, they're getting a real wake-up call. A lot of them didn't save up for a rainy day. A lot of them didn't open up a SEF IRA. Okay? As fast as the money was coming in, the money was going out to perpetuate a lifestyle and to show to y'all that they're rich and balling. And I think that's what's going on with Tim. Because for years, you know, he had this big compound and all these guns and, you know, fancy cars and all this other stuff. And now that that's slowed down, yeah. People are not watching. People are tuning out. And especially if you're not talking about real stuff. You know, celebrity culture is cool, but people want more. People are now wanting more real world news. And I love that we're in this time and space, because I've been enjoying doing like the Contra days and talking about real world stuff. You know, we'll always spill tea, but we also need to know what's going on around us as well. So a lot of these influencers that are crying that they're not getting the same amount of love, attention, you know, views, I don't feel bad for them, because when they were getting it, they took advantage of their fans. When she was getting all the love in the world, she gave y'all Modi lipsticks. So it is what it is. Let's see here. Thank you for the super chat, though. I appreciate you. Jay Abata, sorry if I mispronounced your name. They sent $10, says, I'm catching the live at work. It's my last day because I'm going on vacation until the 29th. I know that's right. Enjoy your vacation. Have a good time. And thank you so much for stopping in and, you know, just let me know that you're here. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Yana sent $1.99, says, hey, T, great to see you. Thank you, Yana. One Natalia says, hey, T, good to see you. Up and Adam, girl, much love and appreciation. Thank you so much. No, for sure. Senpai says, I just wanted to let it be known that the Netflix special couldn't touch or even dream of surpassing your Can't Stop, Won't Stop deep dive. Much love. Thank you so much. When I tell you, we're going to get on that deep dive. We're going to get on 50 Cent's Netflix thing in just a moment. But thank you so much. So many people have been messaging me about this Netflix documentary, child. We're going to talk about it. Let's see here. Lunar Galaxy says Beyonce cuts better than him. Thank you so much for the $49.99. I appreciate you. Queen Sunshine gifted 5 memberships. So if you want to be a member and watch my deep dives, she has 5 memberships that she gifted. So y'all go ahead and grab the memberships. My latest deep dive that I did about 2 weeks ago was about African spirituality and the Orishas. So if you're interested in catching that, definitely grab one of the free memberships. So thank you so much for gifting people that, Nana Nia. Appreciate you. Banji Baby sent $4.99, says Tim Pool's beanie probably smells like sweat and sour chicken. Ooh, not sour chicken. Y'all are mad. Oh my gosh. I am Kelly Smith said a lot of these influencers need to read the room. Yeah, a lot of them do. Madmo sent Mado, excuse me, sent $10, says, Lovely T, did you watch the Diddy documentary? All right. So let's get on that. Let's get on the documentary. So let me say this. At first, I was not going to watch it because I felt like I put so much time into my deep dive. I don't even feel like. And then I was at the courthouse. I'm like Diddy'd out, right? But my homeboy hit me up and was like, TT, you need to watch the Netflix documentary. There's some new things in there. I don't think it compares to yours, but, just watch it. Just check it out. And I thought it was interesting for the most part. There was I guess what kind of had me shook when I first started watching it, I'm like, okay, what is going on here? Is 50 Cent under the bed? How is he getting all this footage of Diddy? But then we found out later on, the reason why that footage of Diddy got out is because, again, Diddy being the narcissist that he is, he wanted to do, remember my deep dive for y'all who were babies or weren't around, Lil' Kim did a thing with BET back in the day called Countdown to Lockdown. Because Lil' Kim did time because out of everybody in her crew, she was one of the ones who lied on the stand to protect her homeboy when that big-ass fight broke out between Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown's entourages. Put a teacup if you guys remember me talking about that in the deep dive. Remember, that whole Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown thing, I broke that down in my deep dive, was because of Diddy. Diddy instigated a lot of that beef between Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown, and I brought the receipts. Okay? He was playing both sides of the fence until it turned into a little street war. So he tried to pull a Lil' Kim. That is why they had all that footage. He was doing his own countdown to lockdown, but his thing is he thought he was going to get off. He didn't think he was going to get locked up. Lil' Kim knew she was going to get locked up. So what happens is that Diddy likes to have people film him, right? But he don't like to pay. And as a videographer, I've been in that situation. It's a lot to video somebody. You're videoing them, you're recording their day-to-day, then you're going home editing. And so now you send them the bill and all of a sudden, me no English. They don't know English. They don't understand. Why is the bill so high? He's a cheap ass bitch. Let's keep it real. He expects people to do stuff for him for free just because you're in the presence of Diddy. Sir, objection. The way my bills work, my landlord don't give a fuck about me being in your presence. My car note don't give a damn about me being in your presence. Daycare, gas, they don't give a damn that I was in Diddy's presence, bitch. They need a check. So what he tried to do was play the person who was filming him. He decided he wasn't going to pay because the total was like $160,000. And mind you, this person followed him every day for months. That adds up. Okay? So Diddy didn't want to pay. So what ended up happening is because I'm the videographer, I own the footage. It might be your likeness, bitch, but I filmed it. Okay? So he decided to sell it to Netflix. Netflix bought it, but they wanted somebody attached to it that could really bring hype to this documentary. And that's where 50 Cent comes in as the executive producer or whatever on the documentary. So 50 Cent wasn't the one filming. He wasn't the editor. He was the one to basically push the project and get a super good credit and get some good money off of it. And 50 Cent and Diddy have been, beefing for years now. They've been into it. I will say this. I saw a lot of my deep dive in that documentary. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the first person who's ever made a, documentary style about Diddy, but let's keep it real. I did a 4-part series. Every series that I did of Can't Stop, Won't Stop was at least 2 to 4 hours long. And I took you from the beginning. Like I said in my documentary, the way that Diddy first came into my ether was because of that stampede that happened at the college. I broke all that down in my documentary. I hadn't seen nobody cover that the way I did in my deep dive. Nobody even talks about that stampede that happened. So I was very shocked to see that in this Netflix documentary. I'm like, damn, this looks like a Lovely Tea production. I don't ever see anybody taking it back that far. Interesting. Now, one of the things that I did learn, I didn't know about Misa and Eric Sermon dating. That was interesting, seeing Eric Sermon in the documentary, and you know, him saying his piece and stuff like that. I thought that was interesting. But what was so funny, when I was in Detroit, there was a young lady. She ended up being a tea sipper. She was my waitress. And she was so excited to meet me. We took a picture and everything. Well, my friends who live in Detroit, they ended up going back to the restaurant. So he texted me, was like, T, the waitress that was at the restaurant that you went to in Detroit, we ran into her again. And she told me to tell T that they literally took so much shit from her deep dive that it made no sense how much stuff they took out for her deep dive. And I'm like, I said, I'm glad that other people are clocking it. Because I've had a lot of people telling me that. Like, that was literally a condensed version of your deep dive. But I thought that it also showed what I had been saying about Diddy for years. And remember, when I would call Diddy out, I would get all types of death threats, people cussing me out. I'm trying to take down the black man. I was always trolled because I didn't like Diddy. Because I remember how he did so many people foul. And I'm glad that people got to see the real him when he said he went through Harlem shaking hands and kissing babies, right? And what'd he say? I got to get in here and get a shower, get all this dirtiness off of me. He saw himself as being above the average man and woman. Who says that? You mean these same so-called dirty people who got you to where you're at, who played your music, who listened to your songs, who bought your stupid ass Sean John gear? I remember being a kid, you couldn't tell. I mean, that's how much Sean John we used to buy, because you know, this when you're young, you support. I remember my oldest, because his name, he has Sean in his name. We used to tell him when he was a little kid, that was his clothes, because it had Sean in there. We're like, only people named Sean can wear Sean John. That was the running joke in our household. So if my oldest, when he was like 3 and 4, if he saw you wearing Sean John and your name wasn't Sean, oh, he about to confront you. Hey, your name isn't Sean. That's only for people named Sean. So Sean will confront you, boy. If you had on some Sean John and your name is Tyreek, he wanted all the smoke, okay? So for him to be trying to act like people are beneath him and dirty, and it's like the arrogance. But I've been saying this for years about Diddy. He don't care about the black community like that. He cares about what he can get from the community. Just like when he did all that preaching back in 2020 about how the Grammy board was so unfair and how, you know, his Love album wasn't nominated for anything. And then Mace came out and blasted him. And I said, how are you mad at the Grammys and saying that they're treating you racially unfair when you have by far disrespected, devalued, and taken from more black artists than the Grammys ever have? I don't think any black artist outside of possibly Loon has been unscathed by Diddy's bullshit. And remember my deep dive, I went through every bad boy artist. From Toto, how he did them. And I've been around Keisha. Keisha. The one that's Vita's sister from Murder, Inc. I was around Vita and Keisha and Deb Antony a few years ago. And the stories they all told me, I didn't repeat them stories in a deep dive because when people tell me in private, that's just what they tell me. But to see these women where they're at now, the way they're struggling, like it almost made me like break down, because I'm like, damn, y'all were the soundtrack to my childhood. I was a huge Total fan. And to see that they have nothing from that shit is insane to me. The fact that I'm eating better and living better than they are is insane to me. The fact that they have no generational wealth is insane. And it's not just Total. Craig Mack died broke. Black Rob. What's the little boy? Little Jerome. How he went crazy. Who knows what they did to him? Day 26. 112. A lot of people didn't know about the tea about 112. I talked about that in my deep dive. I didn't even realize 112 was as young as they were. I thought they were grown men. These boys were 15, 16, and 17. Locked in studios. Told if you're not singing, walk y'all's asses home in the middle of a snowstorm. Because they had school the next day. Donnie, the white boy from, he wasn't part of Day 26, but remember he had the solo career. Fucked him over. Danny DeCane. The band. So I took y'all from back in the day to all the way to the Cassie situation. That's how deep my deep dive was. And I had a whole section on the beef between him and Tupac. And the way I did my deep dive was way deeper. Because people just think about the whole East Coast, West Coast. It was way deeper. I broke down how he was behind all that bullshit. And remember, I'm the one who broke down in the deep dive how he fought to get that Rolling Stone cover. And 2 weeks before Biggie died, he took Biggie to the graveyard. All that was a ritual. Remember the cover of Biggie's last album, that was taken in the graveyard. And Biggie had a broke leg, or he was dealing with he wasn't feeling good at the time. Puff didn't care. So it was very interesting to watch a lot of that stuff. Somebody said sue 50. I'm not suing shit. It ain't that serious. Y'all be really talking like lawsuits are free. I'm not wasting my money suing on nothing. I mean, the thing is, we just know where a lot of this stuff came from. Even today, 50 Cent is out here talking about the Tupac, how Diddy dated Tupac's girl. I did a whole chapter in my deep dive on the whole Diddy Sarah Chapman situation. And even with Kim and Tupac. And how Diddy gets off on dating his rival's girlfriends. Again, low self-esteem. He wants what other people have. So I was very shocked when I found out that Eric Sermon and Meesa dated. I said it makes sense. Same way he did Tupac. So this is the video now that's going viral about 50 Cent not putting this in the documentary. I said, well, that's interesting because I sure enough had it in my deep dive. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, here it is. He's talking to Sherry Shepherd. Put a ticket if I remember me breaking this down in the deep dive. The whole Sarah Chapman situation with Tupac. So they're here, now he's talking about it on the Sherry Shepherd show.
Yeah, well, everything couldn't make it was 4 episodes.
Right.
So it was a lot. You had to pick and choose things. Like even in an area where he chooses to date people who he knows previously dated someone. He has a baby by a woman that was dating Tupac.
Wow.
To add to it, but we had to cut it down so we couldn't.
For time.
Yeah.
So are you coming out? I know next year is going to be a number 2, season 2.
I just put it on YouTube.
I just put it on YouTube. Well, we can subscribe and get it. I love it. And
Yeah. So, y'all are not wrong to clock a lot of the stuff that y'all were clocking. I feel like a lot of this stuff in my deep dive ended up on Netflix. I do. And that deep dive, that was like a 5-month process. Because just the first chapter took me 3 weeks. Second chapter, third. Because I believe I had 4 chapters. If my mind doesn't escape me. I believe I have 4 chapters. Like I said, every chapter is between 2 to 4 hours long. Even the breakdown, I did the whole breakdown on all this shit that he stole from Biggie. All this stuff that Biggie stole from Tupac, like his whole style. So that, I'm telling you, it was so many things that were just popping up in that documentary that was like, y'all don't watch my shit. Because remember, I'd had a whole section where I had compared everything, and it was that gentleman in the deep dive that was talking in my deep dive from Baltimore. And there's that whole section of where you see Tupac around the pool, I get around, and then them around, you know, when Biggie did the Juicy video. Took that straight from Pac. Tupac wearing Versace, then Biggie did it. You know, so it was even more stuff than that, but they copied a lot of Tupac's style, and then they brought it to the East Coast. But that wasn't really Biggie's doing. That was Diddy obsessing over Pac and Death Row and Suge Knight, trying to take their swag and their energy and then recreate it with Biggie. So when he came up with Hit 'Em Up, he wasn't lying. When he said that, you know, you try to copy my style, 5 shots couldn't drop me, I took it and smiled. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't lying when he said that. Now it's all about Versace. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was not lying when he said that. So I just find it very interesting, like, just some of this stuff that's in there. Somebody said, first Lovely Joe, now Lovely 50. Y'all like too funny. Y'all said, we're going to start calling him Lovely 50 Cent. Lovely 50. So, you know, again, I'm just a random small fry on YouTube. You know, people take shit that I do and put together all the time and then regurgitate it on whatever platform, you know, Breakfast Club and just whatever else. I guess I'm just used to it. I'm just glad that my audience, like, gives me my props and y'all support me and y'all see what it is. But, you know, like I said, there was also some new stuff in there that I did learn. I'm not going to say that they, you know, the whole thing was, you know, based off of some of the stuff I put together. I like the fact that Babs, my girl Babs, was in there. You know, because I did a whole segment on making the band. So I'm glad that she got a chance to get up there and tell her story. I thought the Aubrey O'Day was going to be a bit deeper. I didn't really like her segment. I felt like she was doing a lot of holding back. You know, she read the email that Diddy sent her trying to fuck. And then, you know, 2 weeks later, she was fired from, you know, the band. But I don't care. I feel like they had sex. I feel like they were messing around at one point. You know what I'm saying? And he couldn't control her. And that's what really bothered him. I felt like, I don't know, I just needed more. I needed more. You know, I felt like she was holding back. It's like, girl, if you're not going to spill it, move around. If y'all not here to spill the tea, please don't waste my time. I'm here to get the tea, you know? But, what else? I'm trying to think back to, like, other stuff in there. Kirk Burrows. Now, he was giving me angry lover vibes after a while. Like, he said that Diddy sexually harassed him, but I don't know. I was getting, like, ex-lover, ex-relationship, bitter breakup vibes. Sorry, am I being messy? I don't know. It was just, he was telling it all. But it was giving me, like, he's very jaded. Diddy did him wrong. But I don't know. I was getting, like, ex-lover vibes from him. Yeah. Okay, y'all were too? It was just very strange. Yes, Diddy's bisexual. Where you been at, Dragon? Yeah, he's he's just gay. Let's just call it what it is. Y'all love using this term bisexual. Diddy's a gay man who uses women as his beard. That's where Diddy feels the most comfortable, is with men. But because he's old school and he's hip hop, he's not, you know. I believe him and Andre Harrell had a relationship. I talked about his relationship in my deep dive with Clive Davis. Diddy learned all of that behavior. That was learned behavior. What else? It was something else I wanted to hit on. Yeah, they didn't talk about the Misa Suge Knight thing. You know, Misa with Justin, and they didn't really they kind of hit on the Wolf. He was mad that he had to pay child support for Justin. I still don't think Justin is his son. Justin don't look nothing like him. Them twins are his twin. That the Tristan boy look just like him, Christian, whatever his name is, but Justin don't look nothing like him. I don't care what nobody says. That Justin, and people are like, well, Justin just looks like the mom. Nah, it's just a little bit deeper than just looking like the mama. Because even that half Asian baby, I don't know the Asian baby's name. Even the Asian baby looked like him. And her mama's Asian. So, I'm just saying. What else? What else was in the deep dive in their documentary? Okay, this is what else I wanted to say. What I did not like, because he got to talking about Cassie, right? But what I found very interesting is he didn't talk about his baby mama. Now clock that T. So you gonna do a whole 4-part series and not really mention your baby mama. Like, we knew she was Jane Doe, but you notice they didn't go deep into Jane Doe? And, you know, it's all this talk about Cassie, her being on some freaky horror stuff. But your baby mama was a jump off too. Like, let's keep it real. Daphne Joy is also a mistress, allegedly. She runs with this mistress, this 6-foot mistress. I forget her name. She's racially ambiguous as well. That's Daphne Joy's homegirl. And that tall homegirl, y'all can write her name. I forget her name. She's like 6 foot tall. She a model. She an industry bot. She was running with Cassie back in the day when Cassie was a teenager. So all these people are interlocked. I should do an updated Didi deep dive because there's even more stuff that I found out since digging. So Daphne Joy is a call girl. She says she's a model, but she sells ass. That's what she's known for. And that's what it was supposed to be with just her and 50. It's just supposed to be sexual, but he's a goofy and got her pregnant. So I found it very interesting that he made sure not to really go deep into that situation. So that is why I can kind of see where Marlon was coming from when he says, as the executive producer, you can kind of make the story how you want to make it. Because if somebody else who was involved in the making of that, right, and who had no ties to the situation, they wouldn't have had a problem clocking Daphne Joy's T in that documentary as well. Because Daphne put a lot of shit out there about Diddy and what he did to her. So, you know, you can't laugh too much about these women and Diddy and the things that he did when you got a baby by one of these tricks. It is what it is. So let's go here. Now him and Marlon Wayans are beefing. So we're going to watch this. Marlon Wayans was asked a question. And it said 50 Cent off. So let's start with this. He was asked a question on the radio about the documentary. Let's see here. Okay, here we go.
We ain't baby all close.
Nah, you stupid.
But yo, look, Puff is
Nah. You working with
Puff?
Puff?
Puff for 30 years.
You saw Big before he passed?
Yeah.
Bro, so you're close. And Jack, what were you saying?
In the documentary, there was insinuations of, you know, that Diddy possibly had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie. And, you know.
Who's telling the story, right? You can skew.
People very close to the situation.
But you can create any narrative as a producer and as a director and as a storyteller. I can create a narrative. I could be like, you know what?
You have.
I could create a narrative.
Well, we see it all the time on reality shows.
Reality
shows.
Yeah,
That's how they're creating
you write a narrative. It doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's true. I can get interviews. I can do this. I can get footage, and I could make you think this about that person.
Nah, for sure. Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So for me, you know, I think, look, 50 and Puff have a long-term beef. It's personal.
People are saying 50's wrong for doing it, but 50's right for doing it. It's divided.
It's between him and Puff. And before it's between him and Puff, it's between both of them and God. Just the way Puff is down on his luck and 50's kicking a man when he's down.
God is going to.
If 50 ever luck turn up on 50, you know, that you got to be careful what you put out. There's a karma to every action that you do.
Okay. Objection. Okay. I'm going to need you to pick a different phrase. You're saying that 50 is kicking Puff when he's down. Meanwhile, Puff was kicking Cassie down the hallway like a football. Let's pick a different let's pick a different phrase, okay? I don't even think it's so much 50 Cent kicking Puff when he's down. I think it's 50 Cent definitely taking advantage of a situation, a money opportunity. He has no loyalty to anybody. He didn't give a fuck about his son, his biological son, or the first baby mama. So 50 has no loyalty to anybody. So to think that he would, handle Puff with kitten gloves is insane. But again, I also feel like white folks been making documentaries about Tupac, Biggie, Diddy for years. Do they also have to, atone for their sins too? So that's the only thing I kind of disagree with. But now let's see what 50 Cent posted here. He's just been going in on Marlon ever since yesterday. So 50 Cent says, in 49 countries, I want the smoke, punk.
Never, those aren't the type of parties that I go to. I don't frequent those type of parties. And even if I go, like I said, been doing Diddy parties for 15 years, and I must say you never let me down, Puff. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. Good times, people. I've never seen any of this. I'm like, when I hear about it, when did that happen?
50 ain't shit for that video. So they've been going back and forth. Let me see here. Let me show y'all some more stuff. It's been insane on Instagram. So then Marlon, he said that Diddy is 12 years a slave. Let me see, what's another thing. People making memes. Then 50 posted this. He says, Diddy got this food trying to get at me, LOL. No AI. It's your vibe, boy. Keep my name out your mouth. And this was a weird, I don't know what fruity photo shoot Marlon did here, but somehow 50 Cent found this. I've never seen this before, so he posted it. Yeah, so it's just been them going back and forth. 50 Cent saying, keep my name out your mouth. Then Ja Rule came out, says, again, let's not be selective in our outrage for abusers, because 50 Cent had also beat up Daphne Joy. So Ja Rule was also posting this. He says, I think I'm going to start doing docs. There's a lot to unpack here, allegedly. Icon Nick Docs. Ooh, Ja Rule is messy. Then he says, not burn the house down with your son inside. Now, we talked about this before on my channel. 50 Cent's Long Island home burns down. And that's when Tamika, I think, was that her name? Tamika Tompkins or Shamika? I don't know, his first baby mama. And she was blasting him about that. Then Ja Rule says, please stop projecting your fears of another man onto me. I don't give a fuck about Herman. He's a goofy to me. So, yeah, it's been nuts on social media. Oh, yeah, he made this AI picture of 50 Cent and Diddy. And he says, and just for the record, bro, let's just correct the narratives, Curtis. Rub-a-dub-dub, stop. So he tried to hit him with the AI. It didn't land. We need real receipts, not AI. And then this went viral. With a TMZ watermark. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I said, not the TMZ watermark. Social media been doing too much. Here goes some other memes. And this is from the movie Don't Drink Your Juice in the Hood. Don't Be a Menace. Oh, my goodness. They've been going in. Let's see here. Yeah, this is a 12 years a slave. Now let's think about 50. Let's see here. He says, I'm just enjoying my life. Cigars before the storm. For the record, I don't condone any abuse of women, period. Unlike some people who have a track record of domestic violence, I got 5 sisters and don't let anyone create narratives about Marlon Lamont Wayans. I'm an exceptional man. Good day, Curtis. So he was responding to 50 Cent. I think these were, yeah. I think this was about it. Uh-oh, don't tell me 50 Cent's son got something to say.
I just woke up. I had a long day on the gram yesterday.
Oh, this is from 2020. Okay, this is old. This is from 2020. We're not going to do that. What is this? Marlon Wayans, where you get that baby oil from, Curtis? Many men, many, many, many men. Rub oil upon me. Go smoke some. He's so stupid. Not using the Many Men song. Many men wish death upon me. Blood in my eyes, dog, and I can't see. Oh, Marlon is wrong for that shit. Okay, so then Marlon comes back and he addresses it. Let me try and find that real quick. That was funny. That was actually funny. We get that oil from many men. Many, many, many men. Oh my gosh. All the young kids in the chat like, what is many men? You had to be there, child. You had to be there. That damn album, that first album that 50 Cent had, that was a hit. That was one of my favorite albums. Okay, so this is Marlon. He's addressing the situation. I guess the memes started getting out of control, so now he wants to address this. We're going to watch this real quick. All
right, so I'm going to make it abundantly clear. I'm not here defending Diddy. I am here because I got dragged into this because somebody asked me a question and I had an opinion. Nobody's wrong for giving an opinion about any subject, period. I'm not here defending Diddy. Don't let the narrative fool you or get to you. Once again, somebody's creating narratives. This is my point. So please look at the whole clip that I did and then look what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Y'all people don't be sheep. Use your brain, use your freedom of thought, your freedom of speech, and don't ever let nobody bully you. Never. Don't let nobody bully you. You got me? Love. Now back to trolling this troll.
All right, so that is what Marlon had to say. And I'm a fan of Marlon. I do. I like Marlon Wayans. I like his whole family. They've always kind of, you know, I don't think they get enough props as they should in the industry. They've put in a lot of work. They've employed a lot of black people. They put a lot of black people on in the industry and stuff like that. So I do like Marlon Wayans. He's cool. And I'm glad he's taking up for himself. I think he has every right to clap back on 50, just like 50, you know, has a right to troll. Marlon is trolling him right back. So I'm here for their back and forth. But, you know, I think that at the end of the day, Diddy just needs to do his time. I don't think that anybody needs to come out and really defend him. He put himself in a situation. You know, they gave him his time. He's not going to be in there, you know. He's lucky he got what he got. So he's not going to be in there super long. And when he gets out, then he can figure out his life then. But I just think at this point, you know, Marlon had his opinion. That was his opinion. 50 Cent doesn't have to like it. But it was very interesting, though, to watch, like, the whole back and forth. But I just think that the documentary, I think it's, like, the #1 show right now on Netflix. A lot of people are watching it. Like I said, I did enjoy it. You know, there was some things in there that I did learn that I didn't know that I found very interesting. But I'm also glad that it kind of showed a lot of people Diddy's very, very arrogant side. You know, the way he just would talk down and go off, and he just knew he was going to get away. He didn't think that he was ever going to really be caught up. Roger Bonds was also on there, his former bodyguard. So I thought that was interesting as well, Little Rod. So if you haven't watched it, I mean, definitely, you know, check it out. But if you want something that's very in-depth, definitely check out my deep dive on Diddy as well. So like I said, it's long, but it's a good breakdown, very historically accurate. But Let's see here. So we got one more story. Then I'm going to go ahead and log off. Let me read some more super chats here. Okay. So Dexter Davis says, what's good, T? Good to see you just popped in to say hi. Hope you're having a good day and you're in good spirits. Love you. Take care. Thank you so much. I am. I appreciate you. Thanks for checking on me. Forever Texas Leather. Sen 20 says, howdy, T. I've been watching your channel for years. Your integrity and growth are truly inspirational. Many blessings to you and your family. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you. Thank you for the love and the super chat. Chelsea has sent a $2 super sticker. Thank you, Chelsea. Cameron 00148 sent $50. Says, hey, Auntie, in some of the worst times of your life, how did you keep going? You've got me through some of the worst times of my life, and I'll always love you. I appreciate you, and you're one of the best blessings in my life. I love you. That is so sweet. I love you too, and thank you so much. I think through some of the worst times in my life, I think for me, I've always looked at it like things could always be worse, and this too shall pass. While it's okay to be sad, be depressed, and be in it, because you're not always going to be happy. You're going to have good days and bad days. But I just try not to, sit in it for too long. It's eventually, you got to snap out of it. You got to get it together. This too shall pass. And that's just how I have to do. And I think as I've gotten older, one of the things I do is just really limiting myself and my energy, and really only giving my energy to people who I feel like deserve my energy. And the second things are off or I'm feeling, type of way, I pull back. I don't like a lot of low vibrational nonsense around me, so that's also helped too, especially right now with what I'm battling with my health and stuff like that. I can't be around a lot of toxicity and bullshit. So I make sure to limit that, and that definitely helps. But, just remember, we're all going to have tough times in life. Nobody's life is perfect. Nobody's life is drama-free, stress-free, and it's okay to cry. It's okay sometimes to just be depressed, to not want to get out of bed, to just lay there. Sometimes you just need those moments. People talk down on that, but I think that that's healthy as well. Sometimes you just need to just lay in bed and cry and just, woo-saw and deal with things, but just don't allow it to take hold of you. After a day or two, you eventually have to get up and keep moving and striving and, just thanking God that you're here to see another day. So I love you, and I take care of yourself, and I hope that things get better for you in your life. So thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see here. Todd says, not okay in my best Becky voice. Candace is funny. Thank you for the super chat. Oh no, I read that one already. We got a lot of new members. Thank you guys for joining the membership, you guys. I appreciate y'all. Jump in Flash sent $10. Says, we love your show, T. Objection. Candace, you in danger, girl. Yeah, like I said, I hope she gets more security besides the fat white man that Tim Pool is talking about, because obviously Tim Pool is sending dog whistles, and I don't like that. That wasn't cool at all. So, yeah. El Del Rio 1 says, hey, T, how do I get a link to the deep dives? Prayers for your health. All the deep dive links are, you got to go to my page. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up. You got to go to my channel. Let me show you. I've showed y'all this before, but hold on. I'm going to show y'all where I got to go. You might have to scroll down. Okay, my membership tab. Okay, here it is. So go to my channel. This is where you find the deep dives. So you go to my Lovely T TV channel, and there's all these tabs. So like you have the home page, which shows videos and stuff. Then you got to just click here where it says membership. So as long as you're a member of the channel, you click membership, and it'll say members only. So like this is one of the, this is the most recent one about the Orishas. So yeah, so this is like all the information. So you just got to click on the members tab. You might have to scroll down a bit, but I know I had just posted all the links to the deep dive recently. So that's where you'll find them. So I hope that helps for people who are confused. So yeah, when I say my wall, because I know people on Instagram were mad, like, where's this wall? We're trying to find the wall. Usually when I'm talking to people, I'm usually just talking to members or Discorders. Like if you're not in the in crowd, I don't know what to say, but that's just how we talk. When I say it's written on the wall, the people who get it, get it. So I didn't, like, people were like really upset, like, what the fuck is the wall, T? And I'm like, my YouTube wall? Like, people be getting so mad. I'm just like, well, that, like, people who know. But that is the wall. The wall is a membership wall. You just walk over to the wall, and that's where all the stuff is. So I didn't understand why folks were, like, mad on Instagram, but okay. But that's the wall. The wall has all the information, and you'll see that part of the wall if you're a member. So that's where all the links are. Y'all be cracking me up. I said my Instagram comments, child, they be dragging me every now and then. They be getting so mad. But let's see here. Todd French sent $2, says they need to give producer credits to Lovely T. That would be nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Breezy8876 and $4.99 says, hey T, your deep dive was way better than the Netflix documentary. Keep up the excellent work, but stay sipping, and they stay sipping and stilling. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of people telling me that my deep dive was better. So I really do appreciate that, you know. And that's why I like doing my deep dives. So I'm just free and able to edit and, you know, make things how I want to make them. I don't have to worry about like YouTube and copyright and restrictions and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that, because that took a lot of work to put that together. I mean, that was like a 4-month process. So might have to do an update. APS, what's up? He says, I'm team nobody when it comes to politics. As of a game, it's a game of give and take. All of them are just here to get some coins. I'm here all the way. Hashtag Team Lovely T Babes. Thank you so much. I appreciate you staying up because I know you're in Thailand, so thank you for checking in. Let's see here. Voluptuous Shelly saying $4.99 says, I don't know anything about the City College thing until I watched your deep dive. I love your deep dives. Thank you so much. Yeah, that City College thing, that definitely made my ears perk up that they had that in there and they started with that. And even them saying, oh, that was the first time that I ever heard of Diddy was because of the City College stampede. And I'm like, okay, that sounds like what the fuck I said a year ago. It was just weird. I was like, these folks is watching and just taking notes. Like, I swear. But okay. Let's see here. Safaje, sorry if I said your name wrong, says, hey, Auntie, happy holidays and blessings to you and your family. Thank you for all the time and effort you put into your deep dives. All I thought about was you and your deep dive while watching that documentary. Thank you so much. A lot of folks been saying that. Thank you. Let's see here. Zal Road 92 sent 5. Says, I'm tired of people playing with you, T. They're always taking from you and never giving you credit. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. As long as y'all know, you know, y'all support me. That's all I can ask for. Charisma Monroe sent $1.99, says, they definitely studied you. I loved your deep dive better. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Daphne Joy. Okay, I am Marquis sent $9.99, says Daphne Joy used to work for Peter Nagard, the guy that told black women that their eggs are valuable. Some think he sent her into the hip-hop industry. They're not ready for that, honey. That's why I wasn't trying to go there. Her and that tall lady. I don't know if the lady's like half Asian like her, but the tall chick that she runs with, they're all part of that Nygard clique. And I talked a little bit about Peter Nygard. I never did a deep dive on him, but if you guys watch my Forever Young deep dive, where I talked about, organ harvesting and all that stuff, I had a segment in there about Peter Nygard and the things that he would say to black women and him harvesting black women's eggs and their melanin and all types of weird shit. Yeah, she comes from that world. Yep. So that's why I feel like all of them, it goes very deep. And I think that's another reason why Diddy didn't get as much time. Because, and even though Peter Nygard is in jail now, it would just blow the lid on a lot of this stuff. That's also why the Epstein list, they don't really want that out. They don't want to put a full disclosure on that. But yeah. So thank you for the super chat. Yeah, she was definitely one of the little Nygard, honeypots. Let's just say that. That's why I find it very interesting that 50 didn't have a whole lot to say about Daphne. He wasn't going into her background and her childhood. Clock that T. So yeah. Peter Nygard was a trip. Crazy character. That's people like him and Jeffrey Epstein is what I like to say, that these are people that are so rich, like a lot of these billionaires, they're so rich that they don't know what else to do with their money. So they use their money to manipulate people, to have people be at their beck and call, to do their whim, because of their status, because of their money. It's insane. When you're that rich and you have nothing else to do but just depravity. So it's scary. Bookmarker says Notorious B.I.G. stole from a Mississippi rapper named Notorious B1's rap style and flow. B1 song Juicy was released 1 year before Biggie's song Juicy, for real T. Oh, I believe it. I know about the Mississippi rapper. I don't know if I talked about that in my deep dive, because I think I found out about that after. Y'all tell me if it was in there, because I literally cannot remember, because I did a whole section about Biggie. I don't know if I brought up the part about the Mississippi rapper, but I have heard about that's where Biggie stole his style, his swag from. And I'm not surprised, because again, look how much stuff they took from Tupac in the West Coast to, lace Biggie up with. And also remember in that Biggie section, I did a breakdown of his lyrics. And Biggie to me was a bisexual, allegedly. The one dude that he hung out with in the crew with the Timberlands on, he was a gay man. He was an openly gay guy. He was always pigeon-toed. I forget his name. I put the picture in the deep dive. Y'all put a teacup. Y'all remember that section with him with the pigeon-toed gay guy with the Timberlands on back in the day. That was Biggie's friend. That's why I just feel like all this shit goes so deep. And the lyrics that Biggie was saying about, like, R-ing people, just his lyrics back in the day, when you listen to them as an adult that's more conscious and aware, a lot of his lyrics were very, very suspect. So I believe that, him and Diddy might have been doing some things, allegedly. Yeah, remember that? Who said that? James. Yeah, remember Faith was on what podcast was that? Bragging about eating his ass? That's a lot of ass to eat. And what woman, like, first of all, why are we eating men's asses as women? But whatever floats your boat. But, like, she should have just took that to the grave with her. That's not nothing that you repeat. That's between you and your man. But just imagine him as big as he was with his legs kicked in the air. Just get the fuck out of here. I don't even want to envision that shit. So I don't know. But Faith was, I just feel like most men who are straight, especially that big, why would you want your butt ate? Sorry. I'm sorry. He is just too much. It's too much ass, too much groceries. That's a bit much. That's the whole buffet. I mean, just imagine him bent over, eat my ass, Faith, and she went down there and did it. And then remember, like he had that skit on his album about inviting a girl over and the girl shitting on him. I remember listening to that as like a 14, like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. Like, going back and listening to some of Biggie's lyrics are just very suspect. Him wanting to R Raven-Symoné, and Raven-Symoné was literally 8. Him talking about he'd rather fuck RuPaul, a grown man, before he fuck any of them ugly ass escape bitches. Okay, sir. So, again, I don't know if I put the part about the Mississippi rapper in there, but we did dissect his lyrics for a good hour. But thank you for the super chat. Oh my gosh, yes, it was too much. It was too much. So I think at this point they were all messing around. There was just a big old, jerk fest at Bad Boy. Because the one dude, Kirk Barrows, sounds like a scorned lover, like he's upset. Nobody, everybody left the Diddy party before, it got late. Okay. So I don't know. Let's see here. Rose Marin, hey sis. She says, I give Candace props for gathering that man and not playing victim because Lord knows I feel no ways about how she's being treated. Yeah, I think she handled it well. I think she replied back to him well. She handled it well. His rant was disgusting. That is a rantings of a man who's losing everything financially. And like Candace says, maybe he'll get that APAC, package soon enough and he'll be able to keep his show afloat. But as soon as things don't work out for him, he's always threatening to, take his show off the air. He's done this a few times. Just like every other year, he's swatted. There's a drive-by at the compound. I said, damn, you got more gang beef than folks in Compton. Mr. Straight Lace. So, child. Let's see here. Mary Jane, 7th MG, said, sent $5, says, I love your genuine energy, T. Always a comfort to watch you. Thank you for all you do. You are so welcome. Thank you as well for tapping in today. Thank you for the super chat too. Let's see here. Damn it, Danny. He said the deep dive links don't work. If they're not working, you might have to do them on a different browser. I also have backup links on some of them where they're specifically on my website. So try the backup links, but try it on a different browser because they should work because thousands of people watch them every day. So try and do that. Let me see what else. Mary Divine, Sim 499 says, love you, T. The membership tab limited. The membership tab only shows 3 weeks back. Only the Orisha deep dive. No, it's not. You have to be a member. It's not limited. You just got to keep scrolling down. So you just got to keep scrolling down and you'll see it. I'll go ahead and repost again so it's further up. But if you just keep scrolling down, you'll see where I posted a few weeks ago, the deep dive links. But when I get off this stream, I'll post again so that way it's further up at the top for y'all. But yeah, if you're having an issue with any of the links not working, because I know sometimes if people are overseas, they can have an issue. So if I get enough where people overseas can't access it, then we'll upload it directly to my website and then give you guys a link that way with a password for the overseas people. So yeah, how long have I been out here? Oh, it's been 2 hours. Yes. What time is it? Oh God, it's 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'm tired, y'all. It's time for me to go get ready to lay down. But no, this has been a good stream. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about Erica Banks. Oh, this is gonna be short. Let me talk about Erica Banks before I leave. I gotta talk about that real quick. Erica Banks from Love and Hip Hop. She got caught up. I keep telling y'all the money is not moneying for a lot of these influencers, celebrities. A lot of these Love and Hip Hop people like to brag and talk down to people and act like, they got, long money. And now another one bites the dust. She's been arrested twice this year. And this latest arrest, She might be doing some time. So we're going to watch this really quick before I go.
Welcome back, everyone. A reality TV star in trouble with the law once again. Erica Banks, who you might know from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, was arrested in Brookhaven. Police said that they pulled over a car that she was riding in because the tag was hard to read, and it turns out the car was reported stolen. Officers said that Banks and the driver had what looked like ecstasy and marijuana on them, so now they're both facing serious drug charges. Banks is currently in jail in DeKalb County. This is actually her second arrest this year. Back in August, TSA said that they found a stolen gun in her bag.
Like, what? That's just ratchet. I mean, at this point, it's just ratchet. And this is why I say all the time, everything that glitters is not gold. Just because you see somebody on TV or in music videos does not mean they have it like that. Because again, if she had it like that, why does everything around her stolen? Stolen gun? Well, I thought you was a multimillionaire. You could buy a legitimate gun. Now they're saying the car was stolen. Well, I thought you was rich. Why are we driving around in stolen cars? And then they said that her and the person she was with, they had enough drugs on them where they charged her with distribution. This was her getting ready to sell drugs. So it's getting real out here. A lot of these folks are hurting and they're trying to find other ways to maintain their lifestyle. Instead of just saying, you know what, I'm struggling right now. The money's not moneying. Let me go get an apartment. Let me cut back on my spending. But instead, they sit online all day bragging about this, unboxing that, you know, acting like they're living this particular lifestyle that they're not living. And now we're starting to see it more and more, you know, of these celebrities and influencers getting popped for doing stupid shit. So, yeah, so that's all I have for her. I don't have anything else. But yeah. She better hope she don't end up doing a bunch of time behind this, you know. It's too bad. Okay, last super chat. Cindy O said there's a new drawing of Jay-Z on 50 Cent's page. Please go see it. I've seen that. I almost spit out my water. I'm like, 50 Cent. I had people sending me that as well. I was just like, wow. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Because I follow 50 Cent. He's so goofy. Oh, he posted something else about Marlon. Hold on. What did he post about Marlon? Oh, hell. They don't give 50 Cent AI. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can find the Jay-Z. Is that with him with Maury? Too loud. Oh wow. Okay. Are you the father or nah? That is so funny. I wasn't expecting that. Did he take down the Jay-Z drawing? Oh, shit, here it is. Ugh. That is a horrible picture. Damn. He says, please stop sending me stuff like this. I'm not going to post it. 50 Cent ate shit. And then a lot of people are saying that Jay-Z's next. It has over 1 million likes. So I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but yeah, that's the new Jay-Z picture floating around. Yeah, 50 has no chill. Hold on, what was this?
I'm dating 50 Cent, okay? He convinced me to date him after he was on my show. It was like a Friday that he was a guest, I think. And then I came in over the weekend and there were like dozens and dozens of roses in my office. And my assistant was like, Curtis Cent has called 3 times. And I was like, who's Curtis Cent?
Curtis Cent.
She's like, Fitty. I'm like, oh, really? Now it's Fitty? 2 white girls. I'm like, it went from Curtis to Fitty?
To Fitty.
So I was like, oh, and she goes, he wants to call you. I go, I don't want to talk to him. I go, he's like, you know, all those guys used to hit on me. But it was like, just kind of like play.
Right.
But Curtis was sweet.
It felt different.
He was sweet because he seemed gangster, but he wasn't a gangster. Like the fact that he was shot so many times, you're like, how did you get shot? Like that doesn't even make any sense. So then I was like, listen, I'm not going out with you. I go, I have a show in New Orleans this weekend. You're welcome to come. You can meet me in New Orleans. This is my hotel. You're welcome to get a room and you can come to my show and, you know, we'll go out and have a drink.
Right.
I go, do you want to go for a walk? And he goes, I can't really go for a walk outside. And I was like, who do you think you are? He's like, I can't go for a walk outside. And I was like, I think you can. Like, get over yourself. So we go for a walk.
What?
And it was crazy. Like every person we saw was like, 50 Cent, like this is, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't get it. Like I didn't know, you know, we're in New Orleans.
He tried to tell you.
Like, you know, black people and everyone knew him. And he's like a major deal. He came to my show. He was very sweet. He's such a sweet guy. And he doesn't do drugs, which was the biggest disappointment of all. I was like, you don't drink or do drugs?
Right.
And we only dated for a very short time. But, you know, it blew up because people were like, what are these two doing together? But he really was one of the sweetest people. I'm dating 50.
Girl. Yeah, they really dated. And he has so much love for her. Look what he wrote. Chelsea's the best. Sheesh. Kissy face. You know I like that. Y'all stay out my business and get off my page. But let it be Vivica Fox. Oh, he can't stand good old Vivica. He drags Vivica Fox. Let Vivica Fox bring up his name. Oh, he's ready with a clap back. Chelsea bring up his name, and he's, oh, yeah, she's a sweetheart. I love me some Chelsea. Child, bless their hearts. Bless their hearts. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to log up out of here. But thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. It was good chopping it up with y'all. I had a good time. I hope you guys had a good time as well. I will talk to y'all later. I love you guys. Everybody have a good night and stay